I wanted to stand up for this. I have been a sitting historian for 2 days now, but I'll refrain from being a walking historian right at this moment. At the end of 2 days of very engaging, rigorous, and intellectually stimulating discussion, it has fallen on me to make a few closing remarks, and Daniel will say a few things later this evening when you see you elsewhere. But first, let me once again thank and praise our students and student organizers. And this conference would not have been possible without you. This one really is for you. I will do a hurricane tour of all the papers in a line or two and say a few words at the end. Marnie Hughes Warrington opened up a brave new world where we must come to terms with artificial historians and the innate historicity of the entire artificial intelligence enterprise. Alan McGill settled on the thought that global history most fundamentally is critical history. Dipesh Chakrabarti revealed a curious involution of the global into the planetary and the salient features of a distinction that we must make between the two. David MacDonald walked us through the many intricacies of the ubiquitous violence at the inception of settler colonial states. Heather Salter helped us recognize the historiographical crossroads and convergences that studies on 20th century anti colonialism help us arrive at. Heidi Turek made a convincing case for a critical institutional perspective on the state of global history. John McNeill's very helpful long arc of the historiography of global environmental history brought to fore not only some of the protagonists of, but also the nature of the evolution of the questions people have asked. Joe Gould's penetrating insight into how British land policies created enduring economic disparities and social hierarchies across their empire, with effects still visible today in formerly colonized regions. Thanks also for the rocky place of land that you gave me while you gave Daniel a greener pasture. But as I learned from Maxine last night, we build where we stand, so I'm happy with your allocation. Julia McClure's radical reframing of the Western colonial enterprise will reverberate across the field of global history. I have full confidence in that. Sven Beckert gave us a glimpse of a rich, nuanced, actor centered history of capitalism that we know will have an abiding impact. He also pointed us to the local history of capital, but a local history that is shaped and inflected by the unfolding process and logic of capitalism. Maxenberg's intricate attempt to read histories of sugar and cotton together will help us to reshape the geometry of global trade from a triangle to a quadrangle. And Stephen Ling's very timely reminder that global history needs to pay more attention to states as autonomous actors that have played a crucial role in shaping the political, economic architecture of the modern world, brought our endeavor to remap categories and concepts to a conclusion. There is a lot we have learned, a lot I have learned, a lot we achieved, and yet there is a lot that remains to be done and a lot that we need to figure out. In the end, I am left with a phenomenological exercise, if there ever was a phenomenological of the collective, that stems from our failure to trace a genealogy of what we have called global history. It is an exercise in disciplinary, self critical self reflection on the state of global history. In 1973, the archaeologist David Clark published a paper in Antiquity titled Archaeology, the Loss of Innocence. The project I take away from this conference, to paraphrase Clark, is to figure out where we stand after the loss of innocence of global history. That might well have served as the title of this conference. That exercise is genealogical, remedial, and aspirational, For we must know where we come from to know where we might want to go. But we'll figure that out later. For now, I want to go home and drop off my bag. Thank you, everyone.